Hey guys, it's Tanner from Rhino Fitness, and today I'm going to share with you how to properly use your wrist wraps and some of the most common exercises that you can use them with. If you've been training for a while now, you know that over the years your wrists can take an absolute beating, and sometimes we need that little bit of extra support so that our wrists don't wobble or ache, and it can save us from a lot of pain and injury later on if we use these properly. Now, wrist wraps are typically used for pushing movements where the wrist is flexed, and it's going to give you that little bit of extra support. So exercises such as push-ups, overhead dumbbell presses, bench presses, even using kettlebells or circuit training, or even jumping on the rings, these can really help you stabilize that wrist, reduce and prevent injuries, and more importantly, make you feel confident in your training. At the end of the day, there really is no right or wrong way of how to use these wrist wraps, but there is going to be a way that they're going to work more effectively for you and do a better job. So the first thing we want to do is obviously open up our travel bag, grab our wrist wraps. There are two of them in there, obviously, one for each wrist, and each one of them is going to set up better for each wrist. So let's do the left one first. As we can see, we unroll our wrist wrap, and what we want to do is that we want to place this on the back of our wrist. We want to make sure that this little tab for your thumb is facing upwards. Now what that's going to do is that's going to eliminate that little tab from cutting into your wrist and being uncomfortable. At the end of the day, we want this to secure your wrist from shaking and wobbling, but we also want it to be comfortable so we can focus on our training. So we lay it on the back, we slip our thumb in the loop. It's in perfect alignment with our wrist and our thumb, and then all we want to do is simply wrap around the wrist wrap. Now, we don't want this super tight to where it's cutting off our circulation, but we do want this pretty snug. We want to have this sitting lower on the wrist, and the reason for that is so that it inhibits or immobilizes our wrist from snapping backwards or from going from side to side. Now, if this is snug, it should be doing a pretty good job of keeping your wrist locked in and secure. Now, if you want to use this wrist wrap without the thumb loop, so say if you're using the rings, or if you're just looking for straight up support without the loop, all we do is we just simply take off the loop and we can actually tuck it inside the wrist wrap, and then we're good to go. So if you're using these for CrossFit and you don't want the thumb loop, then you just simply take off the thumb loop. If you're using these for powerlifting or bodybuilding or lifting weights and you want the thumb loop, all you got to do is just untuck the thumb loop and put it back on. It's really that simple. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial of how to use these wrist wraps. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to get back to you.